first game, 64 man. I do believe about 45 people showed up, but this is in the round of 32, not the round of 64. So I should actually change that on the title. There we go. Done and done. So, Mr. Rapid, how have you been lately? Been enjoying the League of Legends?
I've been enjoying quite a few League of Legends. I actually got a chance to play with a couple of my good friends over on the Garena server, where if you pull your strings right, everything everything comes unlocked. So I've been having a lot of fun over there. I get about 202 ping, which is a little bit extensive, but I think it's almost the same to EU West. So I think I have a level 6 account over here. I've played like 11 or 12 games, and I respect for all of you guys that play over on the NA server, because that's a little bit rough to do, especially when you're used to playing with just a few 50 or 60 milliseconds worth of ping. So I've really been enjoying checking out some other servers, and here we will be checking out looks like Waveya Fanclub and Recordinate. So into the picks and bans, I'm really interested to see if these guys conform to I guess what I would consider the standard EU meta, or just go for something a little bit interesting.
Yes, the game is now underway, and talking a little bit about EU, it's I saw a comparative graph on Reddit about a month ago about the different tournaments, the NA tournaments versus the EU tournaments, and just the way that the champions fall in terms of popularity, in terms of the picks and the bans, and how often they do get picked or banned. It was really quite startling to see almost the paradigm shift from NA compared to EU, and then again I'll probably say to Korea as well. It's everybody has access to the same champions, but just the methodologies and the ways people create their teams and ban out are just so different region to region. So are we going to see that EU? Are we going to see something a bit different? Not too sure at this point.
Yeah, I think there are, especially like things that are considered just like straight up OP in North America. Like for a long time, Alistar was permabanned in North America, and it really wasn't that big a deal over in Southeast Asia or even in some parts of Europe. And now he's pretty unanimous across the board banned. But this time around, not actually banned. We do have Ezreal, Malphite, and Morgana banned for Recordinate, and for the Waveya fan club, they're going to take out Gragas, Shen, and Jax, somebody that you don't often see banned.
Jax as a top laner, I suppose. I mean, technically, I guess he could be a jungle, but more and more these days you do see him in that top. Yeah, you're quite right. Nothing that you really see that often. Shen, Gragas, Morgana, Malphite, those are kind of more typical. Ezreal, maybe that's just a preference on their part.
I don't know. I've been seeing those win ratios keep climbing with Ezreal, and
oh my.
Sure, he has some combinations with certain supports that do better, but just like across the board, it's like a 55% win ratio. So if you go with Ezreal, you're already 5% ahead of just going even. So really, really strong AD carry, and so without him in the pool, I mean, you kind of have, you get your Corki, your Graves that are still, out there for standard, really great AD carries. But we'll see what we have left to pick up here. It looks like first picks out for both teams. We will have Orianna picked up by Big Fet for the members of Recordinate, whereas Waveya Fan Club going to go ahead and grab that Shyvana.
That was a good point on the picks. I've now actually turned on the summoner spell blocker, so no ghosting here, guys. Even if you are watching the stream, we're not going to tell you what their summoners are until the break. But by then, you will obviously know. But Orianna is a mid. She's kind of been up and down. She's gone through some nerfs, gone through some buffs. At this point, she's, I wouldn't say godlike tier, but she's a solid pick. I mean, Morgana's out of the way. Gragas isn't there. It does leave you with some of those alternative options. I'm personally a fan of Orianna, but if we were going to go for an Orianna first pick on blue team, I'm curious as to why they banned out Malphite, because that is a very strong combination.
Well, you gotta know, they could have been going for that more curse-style Orianna-Shyvana combo, which is probably why the members of Waveya Fan Club were just like, hey man, we gotta pick Shyvana because we can't let them grab that the next turn. The reason you go Orianna is because you want to pair her with an initiator, and like you pointed out, Malphite, really great initiator, along with Shyvana. It's really counter to a lot of poke compositions, and instead of going with Shyvana or Malphite, it looks like Recordinate's just gonna go ahead, pick up Skarner. He's gonna get the Shurelya's, he's gonna get a lot of move speed from his crystalline exoskeleton, and he's going to be able to run in there, drag somebody out, and then that's going to combo really, really well with Oriana's command shockwave. So that's kind of the strategy behind that. And Oriana is somebody who's really, really popular over in EU West. I was watching Pharrellin Lord's stream. He is currently 2 elo away from 3,000.
I saw that.
He was actually running Oriana himself. So, hey man, if you got 3k elo and you're playing Oriana, you know, they gotta be pretty good.
Well, as I said, not exactly a godlike tier, but hardly terrible by themselves. You did mention that Shyvana on the other team, probably their jungle. It's been a while since we've seen a lane Shyvana, but it is totally possible, and that does seem to be still more of a strategy here in League of Legends. Take for that ambiguous first pick. Could be a tap, could be a jungle, kind of makes your opponents try to guess it out, and at this point we don't actually have, well, we do have an Aurelia, so it is kind of probably going to be a jungle Shyvana, but at the same time we also have a Graves Sona bottom lane. I'm a big fan of Sona support.
Man, I'm actually really kind of checking out this last pick here for Recordinate. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen a Fiora in competitive play, and for that matter, a Karma by those means. But you know, still 30 seconds left. They could definitely change their picks here. I know they started out with a Blitzcrank pick, and I'd actually love to see a Blitzcrank because, hey, there's no Sivir on the other team, and I'm really interested in the Sivir pickup because you know, Sivir not really one of your top 3 AD carries, but one that's actually been seeing a lot more play just because of the strength of her spell shield. As more people learn how to micro that correctly, you realize that, hey, in a lot of trades with a lot of the most common AD carries, that spell shield comes up really, really huge, and just allows you to hit moves that, well, they can't really hit you back with. So it'll be really interesting to see if Recordinate can kind of pull that off with their team composition.
Well, instead they actually ended up taking the Lee Sin and Blitzcrank, so probably a Lee Sin in the top. Or what do you think? A lane Skarner? I don't think I've seen a lane Skarner in a while as well.
If you go lane Skarner, you have to go with a manaless mid, because he can't really lane either manaless mid or going up against another AP in lane, so he can legitimate buying a chalice, because otherwise he's just way too mana hungry to make that top lane experience really effective. I mean, theoretically, if he had a lot more mana regen or just straight up mana, it'd be great because you have crystalline exoskeleton, you've got permaslow, you get a lot of AoE wave clear. It'd be really cool, but not something we've really seen a whole lot.
Yep, fair enough. Definitely a point to keep in mind, but we're going to see if we're having any of the picks just swap up and down. Last pickup coming up for Waveya Fanclub, going to be that Ahri, so very likely that mid. Ahri, very strong, definitely went through some phases, was borderline OP for a while, but then they did nerf down her AP ratios so that she could build a little less tanky, and I think that she's in a pretty good spot at this point. A lot of mobility after level 6, and the charm combinations with Foxfire and the Deceptive Orb can definitely put out a lot of burst when placed correctly. I mean, we do have the Shyvana ultimate as well as the Symphony as a crescendo coming out from Sona, so a lot of different utilities there to try to combo down. Of course, Graves with his ultimate as well as the Buckshot. Definitely some big bursts coming out of them, so we're going to have to see as these teams are about to lock in.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious about the Sona pick. I know that ever since they changed the global cooldowns on her skills, it's been a lot more popular pickup to go with Sona. But I believe Tarek Graves is just one of the most brutal, strongest laning combos that you can possibly have. I mean, barring a lot of the ones with Ezreal, but as he's not in the picture, really surprised to see the Sona pickup over like a Tarek pick. And I guess I do like that because, hey, you're going up against Sivir. Tarek, not really that effective against Sivir, so I mean, sure, Sivir's going to be able to get some mana back from either Spell Shielding Buckshot or the Qs from Sona, but still, I don't know. I mean, I guess now that I think about it, Tarek not that great against Sivir, but it'll be interesting to see exactly how they want to go ahead and combo Sona here with Graves. They want to play more of a poke-centric lane, leveling her Q, or go with just a lot of defensive tankiness and a lot of just sustained stats by leveling heal.
Well, as many of you probably guessed, we do have the summoner blockers now off the screen. It is going to be that Skarner in jungle with Shyvana, so it is going to be Lisa in top. With that bottom, I mean, it is against a blitz, so we do have the spell shield ready for Severe, but at the same time, we could also go pretty offensive with the Blitzcrank. Always got to be very careful with your footsies in that bottom lane up against a Blitz. Otherwise, he's just going to rain on your parade. In terms of Graves Sona, however, I don't really see her doing too much into healing, at least initially. Graves with his passive, yeah, so as long as he keeps firing, he's going to gain a lot more armor and mana resist as time goes on. So as long as they can avoid the boomerangs and avoid the hooks, I mean, 2 skill shots, just got to have some decent dodging skills. We could probably see some decent lane presence from both bottoms. Really depends on how the skill shots go.
Yeah, I really want to see Sivir get a nice handshake off there. Uh, as far as the Blitzcrank is concerned, whenever he goes in there for that grab, if it's level 1, sometimes that can be not the greatest thing because, hey, if you get a grab off onto Jept there running Graves, that can just put you in range for a point-blank buckshot. And if that goes on to Sivir, well, she's not going to be lasting too long unless she manages to hit that spell shield. So it's really kind of a little bit of all or nothing. If you hit that spell shield in the trade, it just goes way in your favor because you're going to be able to land both hits of the Boomerang Blade, and it's just going to be really, really interesting to see how these go just because that bottom lane is going to be so micro-intensive. And I really like seeing that sort of like be an indication of exactly how skilled these players are. So I don't know. It's I'm actually going to be really excited to watch the top lane because Irelia has brought teleport, and comboing that sort of with her equilibrium strike, she's not really looking to win this lane super hard because when you bring teleport, you're not going to have the kill potential that Ignite gives you. Lee Sin, on the other hand, he's brought Ignite. He has a Skarner in the jungle. This guy is going for blood, and it'll be really interesting to see how I'm Stews handles all of the aggression that Lee Sin can put out.
Well, we are going to have to find out in just a few minutes here, guys. Game number 1 of tonight's broadcasting about to come up to you. Recordinate and Waveya here in the RockinEsports $700 EU Tournament. We'll see you guys after the break here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Unfortunately for me, I got the corner bug screen. Rapid. Q, Q,
Oh,
Q.
man. See, I made sure not to click outside my window during that loading screen, so mine is looking good. And speaking of looking good, I now know the reasoning for the champion choices here for the members of the Waveya fan club, because they are, in fact, rocking both Riot Graves and Arcade Sona. So they have their skin codes. Apparently, they got the hookup with those. So as far as the skin war is concerned, looks like we got 3 on 4. So I don't know. It's looking a little bit rough for Recordinate right now. But right into the starting gate, we do have a pause. Apparently, there's a little bit of a lack of readiness here, and a little bit of an anticlimactic start. But should be going underway here in just a second.
Nah, it's a beautiful start. It allows me to move my guys around here down to make sure everyone's all nice and aligned, and it let me fix my corner bug. Nope, brilliant. I love it. I think someone said they had to hit the washroom or somebody disconnected. Yeah, there we go. This is exactly why we do tournament draft games. Get that pause function out there. Alright, so jungles, tops, mids, everybody is now set up. We don't even have items yet.
Yeah, no items, no basically anything. I don't even think anybody's moved yet, but it does look like we need to have Graves reconnect here. So, yeah, can we restart? Can we unpause the game while your AD carry is disconnected? That'd be really cool. I'd like to do that. But
it's all about the positioning. All about the positioning. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, it looks like Jept having a few issues, but he's restarting his computer, so...
Always a good thing, yeah. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Always a good line out of the IT crowd. That's something everyone should take away from tech support. Always try turning it off and on again. While we do wait for him, what do you think in terms of a level 1? Typically, if you do run a Blitzcrank, you have a very strong case for trying to do an invade.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you don't invade when you have Blitzcrank, especially a Piltover Customs Blitzcrank, I mean, if you're not invading with that, you're really underutilizing Blitzcrank's potential, and that's something that's a little bit rough to do. I mean, it's really gutsy. It takes a lot of planning and careful action, but hey, if you do it correctly, it has a lot of advantages. Whether you're grabbing the blue buff over the wall, whether you're just going for a little bit of a level 1 aggression, trying to get the jump on your opponents. It's just really worthwhile to do, especially since they have a lot of damage to combo that up with.
Yeah, Orianna, Lee Sin, Skarner, and Boomerangs. Yeah, it makes a really strong case. In terms of Waveya fan club, I mean, typically when you do have these kind of big invade teams, either they're going to clump up or they're going to spread out looking for that invade by covering all the entrances. I call it the Neuro net just so that everyone will know when that invade does happen. But in terms of Shyvana, I mean, she could be starting blue, could be starting red. Shyvana, if she wants to go really hard, could go straight for the red for level 2 gank on top of Lee Sin top. Lee Sin, however, little mobile. Little mobile.
Yeah, so ganking Lee Sin, really, really rough to do, depending on which skill he starts first with. But if I am correct, I do believe we have the unpaused.
Yes. I am at just a little bit under live. Apparently I'm at 17, 18, 19. Are you at live or are you?
Yes, I am at live because
There we go.
when they pause it, it keeps the time keeps going, but
Silly.
not everything else does.
All right, we are good. It does look like both teams gonna be racking up for a 5-man stack, and both of them are kind of in more defensive positions. Now we're gonna have to see if either do go for that invade. In terms of wards, we got 3 wards here on blue, 4 on red, so we could easily be putting down some of those counters. Keep track of the jungling information, and here we go. Both the teams gonna be looking into each other's good jungles.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And a very anticlimactic beginning. Double wards going down, putting him exactly mirror brushes. And I'm hoping that I haven't lost Rapid. Rapid! Did I lose you? He's still in the call. Rapid! Type to me, bro. Alright, well, not entirely too sure what's going on with my friend Rapid, but now both teams, you know, they've kind of gone by their wards. We got the pings going down. We're still in 5-man stack, and does look like blue team going to be hitting up enemy blue. Now, if we steal away from this blue from Shyvana, I mean, it's not the worst case scenarios, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a detriment. Now, we are going to have 4 stacking up here in blue. I'm not too sure that red actually knows what's going on here. Waveya's going to face check this with the Sona, and that is going to be a very quick first blood. Bam! Wow, fisted in the back of the butt. That's an Australian term I've actually picked up from the Blitzcrank. Fisted in the back of the butt. Mini Sunny picking up first blood there. Could have really left it for that ignite. How many ignites did we actually have go down there? It was the Orianna ignite. So if we had let the mid pick that up, probably would have been a little bit of a better situation, because then she would have had that first blood gold. But at the same time, giving first blood to your robot, or your support in this case, not a terrible idea. Will accelerate his gold per 10, as well as wards could even lead into an early oracles. So yes, as you are noting in chat, what a kill steal, and I still have no idea where Rapid went. Rapid, are you there, bro? Come back to me, buddy. Lee Sin putting down a little bit of harass here in this top. Irelia. Now, Irelia versus Lee Sin, you know, with the health pool differences, definitely could see Lee Sin going in for a combo, automatically getting hit by the Equilibrium Strike and just kind of interrupted. But Shyvana did go for her red, noticing that her blue was gone, is here for that top level gank. Captain Sander could be in a little bit of trouble, but there's no exhaust up here. I mean, with that teleport, as Rapid did say earlier, Irelia not exactly in that kill potential, and we didn't have Shyvana with an exhaust either. She is a flash smite, so if she... Oh no, sorry, she is an exhaust smite, but she didn't use it. I hear her Rapid though. What's up, dude? Nope.
Hey, how's it going?
Kind of.
Wait.
Your sound card okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me right?
I can. Excellent.
All right. All right, we're good to go. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there, but we're back. And after, I'm so disappointed that I didn't get to yell with you at that level 1, but unfortunately, Yeah, you did cover that masterfully, and now we are here, we're back, and we are live, and, well, you're live. I'm actually having some issues getting back to live, so I'm going to let you cover this while I get back up to speed.
Okay, well, take your time, bro. It's no worries. Bottom lane, a lot of aggression going down. You know, Blitzcrank after that first kill, looking for those aggressive hooks. Hasn't landed one quite yet, but again, I'm a little curious as to why there was no exhaust from that top lane Shyvana. I mean, she's not going to use it on creeps anytime soon, so very curious. All right. Skarner has his red, has his blue, just picked up the red a little bit ago, is level 4, looking to come maybe down in for a lane gank. We are fairly pushed up in this bottom lane, so it is something that could happen if we can clear these crates, or if we see Graves into a dash buckshot combo could be the cue, but at the same time we also notice that Shyvana out there in the river with that ward, Team Blue, Team Recordinate, is going to know what's going on. Here goes the aggression. They don't know Skarner's there, but there goes the blue and the red, but the blitz. Not able to land that pull. Would have been for sure a kill, but at the same time we've deflected this pressure very nicely, and Recordinate is going to be holding their 1,000 gold lead at this point.
Man, that was a nasty counter gank. If Skarner hadn't been there, that would have been really rough. But as soon as Skarner shows up, I mean, that really lined up Blitzcrank's hook perfectly. It was just a little bit too far out of range. And then just to prevent any future lane ganks and also to deny a little bit of Blitz's surprise hooks from the bush, you did see Sona go ahead and drop an offensive ward there in the bottom bush just to keep Graves and herself a little bit safer.
Just to be safe, I do hear a little bit of tearing in your Skype, so I'm going to redo the call. Can you just call me back?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Usually Skype plays a bit better than this, so not entirely too sure what's going on there. Do apologize for that, but let's try the redo. Hello, Rapid.
Alright, we should have no more issues or worries or anything along those lines. Alright, so you got to get everything done with the first time around. So after all of these things are worked out, everything should go pretty well from here on out.
Indeed, sounding much better. Alright, but so we are 1-0, 6-17, 6-18, 6-19, and well, 1 kill on the board, but we do got some creep scores in the mix.
Yeah, the one I'm actually really impressed with is the evenness of that top lane. It really actually at 1 CS ahead, and you can see her just playing really defensively, just trying to keep Lee Sin off her for the time being, and even now going back. So I don't know, that is probably pretty good. But bottom lane, it is 40 CS to 26 for Graves, so they were actually holding it down there with that CS.
Yeah, they're afraid. I mean, Blitz, as I said, got that first blood. Looking at the gank mid with Shyvana, we do have the Foxfire Rush, sorry, the Spirit Rush coming out from Ahri. Unfortunately, no kill for them, but now could be a nice opportunity for Skarner counter gank. He's just too busy with this bottom lane at this point.
Yeah, he really wants to get something done, but unfortunately there is a ward there, so Big Fet not going to be successful anytime soon. Shyvana did blow that flash for Orianna, so she's not going to have that, and she's also out of mana. So, I mean, the blue buff is about to respawn, so she can go ahead and grab that, but it's going to be handed over here to Ahri a little bit sooner than Orianna's going to get hers. So, Ahri going to be a little bit faster. However, there is a ward there on that blue buff, so you could see Skarner go over there, but no, he's just going to get the respawn timer on that, and be fine with that.
Yeah, too little, too late. Made a little bit of a movement to it, but unfortunately for him, just he's not fast enough. He has 4 legs. He just needs 1 boot per. You know, he only has those base boots at this point. It does look like he's going to go for that Philo Stone first. And what do you think of the junglers? Do you think we're going to see some more boots of mobility these days?
Well, like I'm looking at Skarner right now, and actually, does he have 6 legs? I think he has 6 legs. That's a lot of boots. But as far as the actual qualities of the junglers are concerned, I love 5 speeds on Shyvana doesn't really need 5 speeds because she does have burnout for a little bit of extra move speed. Skarner, man, if you put 5 speeds on that guy, he is going to initiate like a boss. He's actually unrevealed here, sitting in the tri-burst, and he's actually going to find Synergy, and Synergy is really low on health, only has about 400 health, and Big Fat's going to get the double crystal and slash. He's going to jump onto her, but oh my goodness, Lee Sin missing the Q, is not going to be able to get any sort of a kill there on Shyvana for the time being, but man, that was close.
Could be dive worthy, but we don't have the level 6 from Skarner, so we're not going to be able to do that. Captain Sander, however, level 7, is holding it down fairly well up against Irelia, and it's just like he's thinking, he's like, they're kind of low. I got my level 7. I don't have the energy at this point. So he's just going to push this up, going for that meat grinder effect into the tower. But it's really hard to do that up against a Shyvana, or sorry, an Aurelia, because of that dash of hers.
Yeah, Blades are just so good at last hitting. You can really like get your turret pushed in every single time and still be really effective at last hitting. However, she's super low. The Q landed. She flashes away under turret. And really smart of Lee Sin not to go under turret because he's just going to get equilibrium struck. And with I'm Stews just now hitting level 6, would have been able to use Transcendent Blades to heal up a really deceptive amount, especially because it does heal more on champions. So luckily, I'm Stews having to get out of there alive is going to go for gold for 5s. And you can see her stacking health here, and I really like that. Has the Doran's Blade and the Heart of Gold, and if you listen to Wicked, he's not really a big fan of that Doran's Blade on Aurelia. Would much rather go for like a Doran's Shield, just because it gives you 40 more HP. So Lee Sin's going to shove a wave into the turret while Aurelia is not there, and so there's going to be a little bit of a disparity as far as where this lane is positioned is now. Aurelia is going to come back, shove it back out, and hopefully it'll freeze nicely in the middle, so we can see a lot more action coming up here, but it does look like Synergy is going to get spotted as soon as she walks over this ward, and so it's probably going to be pinged out, and now everybody knows exactly where Shyvana is. However, Skarner, a little bit more incognito, just kind of chilling out in his jungle, has passed over the blue buff to a Plastberg, a name I haven't said yet this cast, but with Skarner picking up this red, he's going to be able to slow pretty much everyone. Usually you have to pre-charge your Crystalline Slash in order to get the slow off the first time around, but with that red, he's just going to be slowing everybody all the time.
Well, he might come down here for that gank. Is he actually going to get spotted out by that ward? Yes, he will, but at the same time, they're already in retreat mode. Are we going to see a flash ultimate? He does, as a note, have an Oracle, so he has not gone for those boots. He went for the extra Oracles early, tried to do some of this counter warding, and he will find this ward. Om nom nom, 100 gold in his pocket, more or less. 75 from the enemy team, 25 into his own. At the same time, you know, nothing really huge aggression going down. We were fairly pushed in this bottom lane, but with that Skarner pressure, it has now rebuffed Waveya Fanclub back to their tower. And again, there's a big creep disparity in that bottom lane. 85 for Severe, 51 for Graves.
Oh my goodness, the wombo combos. Jeff's just getting completely annihilated. Oh my goodness, the Q comes out, the giant boomerang from freaking Ninja. Doing a little bit of ninjaing of his own. Man, that pull into Skarner, I have not seen as beautiful a combo as that in a very long time.
I am saddened because auto camera robbed me of it. Damn you, auto camera.
Curse you, auto camera. Yeah, definitely first thing I do. Oh wow, there's the flash out on Plastberg too, so a little bit of a not quite as devastating a gank as bottom lane, but oh my goodness. I mean, Skarner's been pitching a tent down there. He has been down there so much, and to see it, oh, there's the grab once again on Kozin over the wall, forcing the flash over there. Boomerang missing this time around, but man, this bottom lane, oh my goodness, just landing every single grab where it counts.
I actually saw the icon from Sona just go from top to bottom right on top of the blitz. It's like, oh, well, I guess that would be it. But yeah, bottom lane, great kill right there. As I said, those lane ganks coming in from Skarner with that Oracles. There was also, I believe, a purple, yes, in that brush down there. So they were totally unnoticed and unprepared for that. And at this point, 2-0 for Recordinate. You know, still about a 2,000, a little bit over 2,000 gold difference between these guys. And other than that, I mean, we don't really see too much of an item disparity. I mean, we do have a Sheen top first item, top lane. That Lee Sin is going to be a Sheen, not a Phage.
Yeah, the real item disparity I'd like to point out is this Sivir build, double Dorans into Brutalizer. You know, usually you'd see Brutalizer on more of a Graves kind of pickup, but this time around on Sivir, that guy's going to be hitting super hard. The only problem is it doesn't really build very well. You don't really see too many Yomu's Ghost Blades on your 80 carries, and it's just that, hey, I want to use my abilities, I want to use them a lot, and in concordance with using that a lot, you're going to see a Mana Potion on freaking Ninja. So, hey man, this guy knows what to do, and is apparently pretty practiced at his own Sivir. I think he has 57% win ratio with her in ranks. So, oh wow, this looks like a lot of aggression. Chihuahua Flower actually landing the taunt on Big Fed, but ultimately pushed away there from the blue buff, and with the ward advantage in the brush, going to the members of Recordinate, it looks like, oh my goodness, there's another grabbed on Synergy. How does she grab? Apparently really well is the answer.
Wow, I like how that went right over the shockwave. Does not have even look like the shockwave did anything, but just in case she got away, that shockwave is in place just to keep her in place for that blitz. So yeah, 3-0 now. All these kills have involved a blitzcrank. First
What?
blood, and now the double. Did he get another one? My God, I cannot
Another
leave
one.
this bottom lane.
Straight into the Skarner hole again. I don't. That combo is just brutal, and I think it would have been interesting to see the shockwave is actually stops all movement spells in its area of effect. So if during the blitz grab the shockwave had hit, then it would have stopped Shyvana from going over the wall. So and meanwhile top lane, that is why you buy Sheen on Lee Sin, because it literally took off half of Aurelia's HP.
Now that was a really good combo. The Q into the Dragon Kick and then coming right up after that Sonic Wave was an excellent kill by Captain Sander. I caught that one, but it just seems that Blitz is making my day really hard in this bottom lane. Mini Sunny's 1-0-3 and is just tearing it up, as the chat is saying. You know, big props to him.
This guy needs to be like Mega Sunny or something, because all I know is that when I see Blitzcranks in my lane, I'm like, you know what, that's pretty cool, but then everybody rages at them because they miss all their hooks. But no rage here for Mini Sunny, as he's kind of been praying to the gods of the hands, because all his hands do is destroy. He didn't ask for these powers, but apparently he's been given them, and they are pretty powerful from the looks of things.
It reminds me of the Fist of the North Star. These fists of mine, cheap tricks do not work. And yeah, that's exactly it. He's no cheap tricks here. He's just ripping people apart. You did make a point about that Ghost Blade earlier, and it does look like Severe's finished it up. First item. Very atypical choice, yeah.
How do you... okay, this is what I was talking about. Seeing something a little bit new. Mini Sunny, oh... missing a grab, unfortunately, but man, I want to see this Ghost Blade go off. All I know is that as soon as Sivir hits the number 2 key, unless he's got it bound to something else, that is going to be a lot of damage.
Alright, well, just used it to run away. Not exactly the best of uses, but did chunk down Sona to about half health, looking for that Dragon Ward. At the same time, 5-0 again for Recordinate, 16 minutes in. They have created themselves about a 4,000 gold lead, mostly due to that bottom lane. But Captain Sander, I mean, he's held himself up very well in this top lane. 112 creeps to the 91 of Irelia. Does have that kill up, and now they both do have a Phage, so it'll be bad with the Phage procs in that top lane. But so far, I mean, lane Lee Sin, nothing to really complain about.
Yeah, now phages are when top lane starts to get really deadly, because somebody is gonna die, and they're gonna die because they can't get away. Like top lane is all about like engaging and doing it. Oh my goodness, see, this is why I hate Sunny so much.
I learned my lesson. Yeah, great, big grab onto that Sona, leading into this next team fight. It is forcing Ari to blow down her ultimate, as well as the buckshot from Graves. Not enough to keep synergy, and another beautiful grab into the double kill for Orianna. This team is going places, Rapid.
Wow, they're going places, and the other team, the only place they're going is straight into the god hands of Mini Sunny, because, oh my goodness, they are on point, and Plasberg apparently not as on point, as I don't think she's hit, she's like 0 for 2 as far as command shockwaves are concerned, but if she's there to mess up, Big Fed is there to cover up her mistakes and just landing those grabs, and like you were mentioning earlier on, the difference in choices for boots, just boots 1 on Shyvana, 4 additional speeds as far as the boots for Big Feds are concerned. He's like, hey, I have 1 boot and then I have 5 speeds for the rest of my feet to make it 6. And apparently that's exactly the number that you need, as Skarner, A, moving really fast, and B, that Sting apparently pretty deadly, as it basically has about a 20-second cooldown, always off cooldown, and with that top lane turret being taken there by Lee Sin, that will be the first turret of the game for Team Recordinate.
Lee Sin setting up a nice gank here onto I'm Stews, landing a little bit of damage, but she is able to just Blade Surge out of that. Not a problem. Yeah, Lee Sin just taking his time. He knows he's in a good position top. Whatever, we might not have a good position this bottom. Sivir throwing out the boomerang after getting hit by that exhaust, breaking out the ultimate as well, going for the kill on top of Jeff with the Q and the W. The ricochet is always a beautiful thing to watch, and we're chunking down Kozin, not able to take him down this round, but it has now forced out a flash from him, which means next time he won't be so lucky.
Yeah, now I'm confused why freaking Ninja didn't opt to pop Yomu's Ghost Blade in that fight. I mean, hey, if you got it, you might as well use it. And looks like after chunking bottom lane, we could actually see a Dragon attempt. The Oracles will clear out the only vision there for Waveya Fanclub. And this could be the first dragon of the game here for Recordinate.
Now I'm a little confused again. This Ghostblade, as atypical as it might be, I can see the uses of it with Severe. Stack the movement speed, get a little bit of armor penetration, but freaking Ninja is not running anything else in terms of armor penetration. You must be stacking just either scaling or flat AD runes.
Yeah, I mean that's cool and all to have, but I mean when you think about Sivir's passive, it works really effectively with that because hey, you're going to be chasing, you're going to get more speed from your passive, more speed from your Ghostblade, so really sort of a chasing kind of build, and I mean that's great with Skarner to follow up and with Blitzcrank, so you got a really fast team, and you got Orianna to speed them all up too. Lee Sin can jump around, so when you look at Recordinate, you just see somebody that moves as fast as possible everywhere, all over the map, and so hopefully they're going to be able to use that extra added positioning, even with Sivir's ult especially, to make some big plays and use that mobility to their advantage. I'm really excited to see what they do with that.
I think that maybe a Chalice might actually go down well with her. As you can see, she does have the blue buff, and that's going to be really helping out with those mana hungry problems. But another combo coming down on top of Jept, and there's the Impale. Another kill for freaking Ninja, who is now sitting at a very comfortable 6-0 and 3. But again, without that blue buff, you know, typically you won't have the blue buff going to your AD. Typically it is more for your AP. So I could see a Chalice working out extremely well for her.
Yeah, you know, that would actually be pretty interesting, and interesting is about the only word I have for this Sivir build. Like, I have never seen this before, and I mean, I'd love to just call it horribly terrible, but she's 6-0, so I really can't say anything about it, because she was like, I'm going to build this item and kill people with it, and then we're going to win the game. And so you really can't argue with that logic.
Oh, man.
There is a command shockwave, and into the Blitz ult, Mini Sunny's like, hey, you guys got enough kills, it's time for one of my own. Goes ahead, pops the ultimate, grabs that one for his second kill of the game, and a third turret for Recordinate.
I just realized that when we called you back, or when you called me back, the Skype little portrait thing popped up right over top of the camera widget, and nobody said anything in chat. So,
great scumbag chat wants me to get DDoS. Anyways.
So I do apologize for that, sir.
I love chat. Just kidding. You guys are great. Well, most of you. All right. So hopefully we have some great mods in there, making sure that 100% of the people in chat are absolutely amazing.
I don't think I have any mods.
Like, okay, see, shh, you can't tell them that. All right. Well, in keeping with Sivir's
dominance,
weird, strange, non-standard. Yeah, okay, great. Black Cleaver is the BF item of choice for freaking Ninja. It's just like, you know what? I hope you guys don't hope on building any armor because it's not going to work at all. She's critting for 430, just like massive, incredible amounts of damage. Possibly even tons of it being done by freaking Ninja right now.
Freaking Ninja, tons of damage. Freak, tons of damage. I get it.
I see what you did there.
Yep. I think he'd appreciate that if he were here, but he's not, so it's all good. 11-0, Recordinate, definitely, well, there's no way to put it other than they are winning. And 11,000 gold to boot. 11 kills, 11,000 gold. Here goes the pops. We're going for the Chihuahua flower, and he's going to drop very quickly. Chihuahua flower. It just rolls off the tongue very nicely.
I know, man. I gotta like say that 20 times to myself, but I won't do that aloud because I mean it's a cool name and all, but I don't know about that. Freaking Ninja, a little bit disappointed to get to miss out on all that action, but pops that Youmuu's, and fortunately, wow, with her ultimate, this turret is gonna. This is like a master Yi right here. It's like, oh, there's a turret. Oh no, there's not actually a turret there. Spell Shield will actually block that Q. So I think it blocked the actual smoke screen. Kozin apparently walking the wrong way around the turret. Pops his own ultimate, but game over as he did in fact get taken out there. Flassberg's on a rampage as they're pushing down the first base turret of the game. It looks like this game about as one-sided as it could possibly get. 15-0, almost a perfect score as well they're narrowly approaching that mark. 37k to 22k, 15,000 gold advantage, and everything going Recordinate's way.
Well, here we go. Might have a good opportunity for a kill. Chihuahua Flower going for the Blastberg, and it will get that shutdown, so no shutout tonight. But, you know, she does pay for it with her own life. But at the same time, bottom lane virtually untouched in terms of their pushing power. Looking for that inhib mid. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get it today. X Synergy and Jet putting up a defense. Here comes Big Jet, going to be going Dragon on Scorpion as Jet is about to drop Captain Sander, able to take him down with Mini Sunny. The teleport coming up from I'm Stews from the fountain to the front line, going for the kill on top of Captain Sander, but is not able to grab it. Instead, it is Graves dropping in a legendary ninja coming out of the woodwork. That's the best type of ninja.
Yeah, the woodwork ninja's always pretty dominating, and apparently Recordinate saying they're going to kick Oriana for being a feeder, and that's she's probably the weakest link on their team, but I don't actually think that's the case, because hey man, somebody has to die at some point or another. Waveya Fanclub saying now they can die happy because they got one, and that's basically all they came into this game to do. And so both teams have actually accomplished their goals, or are well on their way to accomplishing those. Waveya getting a kill, and Recordinate looking to be probably able to win the game here in the near future. They've shoved down both the bottom and middle inhibitors, and with those down, every minion on the map going to have 200 more hit points and just be that much stronger. You got Sivir moved now up the top lane, and we'll be shoving that one in, so everything going Recordinate's way.
804 on Ninja, 213 creeps, 215 now sitting on Oriana. Really just blowing away the creep scores here of the Waveya fan club. Freaking Ninja, as he said, shoving that top lane, is going to be baiting out I'm Stu, and she's going to be dropping another kill on the chalkboard there for the freaking Ninja. We do got Waveya going for that blue, unfortunately got it reset. So while they're playing around with the creeps in the jungle, we are going to be taking this top lane tower, probably this next one, and if money is correct, yes, it will be the inhibitor and game.
Yeah, I mean, the red team just totally out of position. Like, hey man, there's blue buff here. We gotta get the blue buff. Blue buff. But actually, they kind of screwed that up in getting it reset, and then kind of screwed that up in getting it on Shyvana instead of Ahri, and then they kind of lost their inhibitors, and then their base turrets kind of went down, and then ugh. Just a lot of bad things. But they got the blue buff, so.
Captain Sander landing another one in his books. He's actually fairly respectable at this point at 403. Again, the only feeder on the team is that Oriana with the one death. But Blasberg about to go down again, pushing home the point that we need a new mid. She does drop. Captain Sander going mano a mano with Synergy, is able to take him out with the freaking Ninja. The kill to her board. Even through that exhaust, Captain Sander finally going down to the Blade Dance that Irelia does bring to it. And the triple, nope. Scumbag Blitz taking that kill. Oh, Sivir was dead. Never mind.
Yeah, so there are a few feeders, quite a few actually, as it looks like, Lee Sin and Sivir will go down. Mini Sunny says, hey man, I've been bringing it home all game long, takes the win here for Recordinate.
Not a terrible way to go. 24-4. Recordinate will be moving on here in the RockinEsports EU West $700 of gear tournament. That was just very impressive for that Sivir. Again, very atypical build. Even looked like she was going towards a Banshee's Veil at the end.
Yeah, so all around just wacky items, weird strategies, but successful ones. And man, after looking at that team composition, there's just so many interesting things to talk about that. I mean, you just saw the Wombo combo between the Blitz Grab into Skarner. You saw that they pulled that off 3 or 4 times, and just every single time, just completely devastating.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you create those advantages. You got to look for those synergy team comps. As I said, looking at that Oriana, I was curious that they banned out the Malphite, and they didn't grab the Shyvana in time, because it does look like, Waveya casting took it. But at the same time, the Shockwave became kind of like a null thing. I don't think we really hit a super huge Shockwave at any point in the game. It was all about the freaking Ninja.
Yeah, there were a couple of them that were oh, I can hurt you with this move that really didn't do much else. But I mean, it definitely had the potential there, and I feel well, I guess we at least know who their weak link is. But yeah, Oriana actually doing a really good job keeping up with the creep score. Actually had the most CS in the game. Well, not really close, kind of back and forth with Sivir. So they definitely know how to kill minions and how to kill turrets, and that's basically all you need to do apparently. Although they did a pretty good job of killing champions too.
It's all about killing them champions. Actually, it's all about pushing them towers, but they did both in a fairly good order. 24 minutes as a win. Sorry, was it about 24? 27, 24? 24 kills. For some reason, I'm associating 1 kill a minute. But either way, if you get 1 kill a minute, you're well on your way to victory.